Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really jumping into something critical, securing our digital finances. Specifically, mobile payments are everywhere now, right? But so is fraud. We're basing this discussion on a report called Silent Verification, Telecom's answer to growing financial fraud risks. Hi. Okay, so let's just think about this for a second. Our phones, they're not just phones anymore, are they? They handle basically everything. Ordering food, banking, investing, it's all there. It's incredibly convenient, obviously, but wow, does it open us up to risk. I saw this quote from Alex Walling at Nokia. He tracked his phone use for just one day, and he said it was, like, shocking, just how much my life goes through my mobile phone. It really drives home how much we rely on these things and, well, how exposed we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that very convenience, payments just a tap away. That's what the fraudsters are exploiting. The volume of phishing scams, those fake texts trying to get you to click malicious links, it's exploded. They install malware, steal your bank details, or you get those calls, right? Where they pretend to be your bank, spoofing the caller ID, trying to trick you into giving up your credit card number or passwords. It's relentless.
It really does feel relentless,
Yeah.
like a constant battle. So if the threat level is clearly so high, why aren't our current security methods, the ones we use every day, why aren't they enough anymore?
Well, that's the core of the problem. Those traditional things, passkeys, sure, email codes, even the SMS one-time passcodes, the OTPs we all get, they're becoming less reliable. I read an AT&T executive basically said fraudsters can now intercept, spoof, or socially engineer their way around these methods. Think about SIM-swapping criminals literally stealing your phone number. Or just tricking people. You get a text, you think it's legit, you give up the code. These methods aren't the fortresses we maybe thought they were.
Okay, right. So SMS OTPs, not as secure as we think. That leads to the potential solution mentioned in the report title, silent phone verification. This sounds interesting. How exactly does that work, and why is it supposed to be so much better?
It's actually pretty clever. Silent network-based verification. It uses the telecom network itself. Essentially, your bank can talk directly to your mobile carrier system using secure APIs, these background communication channels. It verifies your identity, your phone's identity, really, without you doing anything. No codes to type, no apps to switch. It all happens silently in the background. So the big advantage is twofold. One, it's way more secure against things like phishing because there's no code to steal. And two, it makes things smoother for you, the user. It removes that friction, that annoying step of waiting for and typing in a code. That quote from Alex Walling again, he called it night and day more secure than OTPs.
Night and day. That's a strong statement. And honestly, yeah, removing that friction sounds great. We all hate waiting for those codes. So if it's that much better, that much more secure and easier for us, why isn't everyone using it already? What's the holdup?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It often comes down to inertia and, frankly, cost perception. For a lot of financial institutions, SMS codes are just the familiar default. They see them as easier and cheaper. Implementing these new network APIs, integrating them, it requires investment and change. The report really stresses that education is the key. Banks need to see the long-term benefits, better security, happier customers outweigh the upfront cost. And we, as users, probably need to understand why this invisible check is actually much safer than the visible code we're used to.
All right, education on both sides, convincing the industry to shift. So if we zoom out a bit, what does this push towards silent verification mean for, like, the bigger picture of digital security and finance?
Well, connecting it to that bigger picture, there's a growing recognition that this isn't something one sector can solve alone. A recent report really hammered this point, calling for a much closer collaboration between telecoms and financial institutions. We need joint initiatives worldwide, basically. Common standards, shared frameworks to build reliable, fraud-proof authentication. You could say the race to secure digital payments is really becoming a test of industry cooperation. How quickly things like silent verification become standard really depends on banks and telcos getting on the same page, acknowledging their, shared responsibility to safeguard customers. It's about teamwork against the fraudsters.
Okay, so it definitely sounds like silent verification offers a really promising path. It's more secure, less hassle for us.
Yeah.
But it hinges on this industry-wide buy-in, doesn't it? Getting everyone to adopt it as the new standard.
Exactly, and that actually brings up a really interesting thought to maybe leave people with. As our lives get even more tangled up with these devices, how much responsibility do we as users have to understand these hidden security processes working behind the scenes versus how much should we just expect the tech companies and banks to automatically implement the best, most secure options by default, even if they cost a bit more? Where does that balance lie?